And in terms of like mental and creative resistance for manifestation, there's a time and a place to be in your mind. But like when it comes time, really, just like most of the time, it's just about presence. It's about breath. It's about ease and fluidity in how you're moving, how you're thinking, starting right here and now. Presence builds, right? Ease builds. And when your mind is present, when your mind is still, heaven is here. You know, when your mind is still, like the thoughts will come, the true impulses and things will come, especially if you got your breath in check, you know? If you're breathing deep, like your body's oxygenated, you haven't been filling yourself with all these densities and things that are blocking and like, you know, disrupting and fracturing your energy, but just breathing, right? And experiencing the lack and experiencing whatever you got to experience, but just being present with whatever is before you. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what's going to lead to learning, like true learning, which is like true inspiration. It's going to lead to like true being where you are, and true being where you are is the code to inspiration, you know? And yeah, a lot of resistance just comes from being misaligned with like yourself, you know? Poetry, art, it flows from the soul. And I would say like 90% of the day to like 100% of the day, most of us are blocked off from like our true being, our true soul, you know? And we think that like in order to create something, we got to show up like this. And like all these programs that are fear-based of the ego and like just like dogma, really, and these programs block you from soul. Have you ever noticed like when you're just like breathing, you'll be having all these divine thoughts and whatnot, and like poetry will be flowing through you, and then you got the pen to start writing, and you start like judging what you're writing and whatnot, and you're instantly just like disrupted and blocked, just the thought itself, you know? And like the Tao, the no mind, the mushi, you know what I mean? Like the flow comes from practice, like a tantric way of life, a tantric way of living and being, like practicing going from one thing to the other without like letting your mind chatter about it or like talk you through it or whatever, and just being so present with the energy. And like once you get on that wave, it exponentially builds, it blossoms, it grows. The fastest way to stop overthinking and like transmute that anxious energy or that resistance and procrastination is to practice the king archetype that is heart-centric. The fastest way to stop overthinking is to be in your heart, right? Check in with your heart. Breathe into your heart. Be with your heart. See what feelings are coming through. See what true thoughts are guided by the winds and the waters of the heart, right? Let nature inspire you. As within, so without, my friends. If we're not being present with ourselves, we're not being present with our environment. And when we can get present with both and show up to the moment, just show up to the moment, right? The external and internal will start to think and communicate in harmony. And this is where like the truth flows from, my friends. It's where the truth flows from. Creative resistance is telling yourself you should be doing this. Or like just resistance in general. It's like, oh, I should be doing all these things and whatnot. Instead of like opening to the energy of well-being and breathing in the now, my friends, feel good. Learn and just practice. Like literally the martial artist Zen master way of mind, moment to moment. See how long you can do that for, just moment to moment, thing to thing. You know, maybe you do that. And like just do that, get that practice in, you know? Yeah. Furthermore, in being where you are, like feeling feelings of fear or like anxiety or anger or depression or these types of things, right? These are all blocking inspiration, but they're also the door. They are the door to the calling that is gonna, like, they're the door to the truest inspiration, my friends. Like, you can get excited about something, and like just like lead yourself down a path of like pleasure and familiar habits and whatnot, to try to run from the feeling, to run from where you are in any sense of the word. But like being where you are takes strength, and this is what I was talking about with like the divine masculine or the king archetype, is like being where you are demands strength. You see, the king shows up fully and centered no matter what, because he's the sovereign one. Are you being ruled by how you're feeling right now? Is how you're feeling affecting what you do? And like, you know what I mean, like blocking you? Are you being ruled by your thinking? Are you being ruled by all this shit, or are you being ruled and like holding to the deepest realization of self you have and staying fully present in the moment, just showing up for the moment, you know? And in doing that, in just taking whatever's in front of you and like instantly accepting it and holding space, and but more so even like penetrating what the moment holds and reaping the fruits of it, especially the darkness, you know? It's like fear or pain or like depression or anxiety, as I was getting to. Feeling that from your king, not in the weak one who like indulges in it and self-pities and like reacts and gets scared and whatnot. And like a lot of people, and myself included, when I start feeling like anxiety or fear, I start like making all these plans and like projecting into the future to like protect myself, or like getting like literally torturing your psyche because you're feeling this feeling, or feeling a feeling of anxiety, or thinking you need to do all these things and make all these changes and whatnot. It's so funny. Like, no plans are real if they aren't made from a place that is in reality, that is like doing, you know what I mean? And in doing that, you're just wasting energy on bullshit and further losing yourself, further losing the moment, you know? But being able to be with fear and sit with fear and sit with like all the shit it's bringing up, or the anxiety, and just like, God, I'm not gonna be in my immature self, all this boyish energy, all this reactivity, all these like false projections and whatnot. Hold fast to the truth. And it's a practice, my friends. The king archetype must be cultivated and practiced within you by learning how to show up, just leaving all shit down, setting it down, right? And learning how to show up and learning how to do things not for what they will give you. You do not make coffee in the morning to drink it, or like for anything. But when you're going to make coffee, you're doing it to do it. You're like, the process itself is the moment we lose touch with the process itself and go into transactional value. I'm doing this for some other motive, right? We lose touch with the moment. That's getting back to like the Zen, you know? And like in transactional value, you know, like externally, when you do something for someone else, is there a part of you that wants to be noticed in any way? That wants to be seen? That wants to be congratulated? When you do something for someone else, is it because of money at the other end? You know, all these things are blocking you from authentic power and kingship. The kingship, there is no transactional value. He doesn't do anything for anything else other than to give. He fearlessly, openly, authentically gives without thought of receiving. That's the divine masculine king right there, or queen within you, really. And yeah, like all of this is getting like, I know I've been off on a few tangents, but all of it is really like entwined together into practices that you can start doing right now. My friends, the fastest way to break through resistance and get in the flow is set the space for you to get to know the one in your soul, my friends, the other. Like to get real with yourself. Have you noticed that before you fall asleep at night, all of a sudden, like, the true vision returns, the deepest realization of like, oh yeah, this, like, we surface above the ocean and it's like, oh, this is like how I'm supposed to be living. I forgot this was my intention and my mantra for the summer. And it's like, but damn, all these fractures of me always block me and run me away from that throughout the day, you know? And it's like, can you Just sit with whatever is, hold space for all of it, build the container, and stand in strength and softness. And realize that a single action or reaction or thought caused from this container isn't real. You don't need all that shit, right? Sit there, feel it all, breathing strongly and softly into wakefulness. Just wake up to the awareness behind it all, the eyes behind the eyes. Wake up to a deeper, further back you know? Just wakefulness. And observe the pain of the moment and the pain and suffering in the body. Welcome to fucking Earth, you know? But like, do that. And that's gonna I guess that's gonna cultivate that presence of soul and just like peace, where the divine flows that we often tap into when we're between worlds, like at night, you know? Resistance is you fighting you. You win by giving yourself wholly over to yourself. By surrendering all and allowing life to happen, allowing you to happen, allowing the soul to happen. Quit letting your ego run wild with all these things that you think you should do and overdo and overanalyze, and like these things that you think you want to do and like doing, because it's all bullshit, because you're avoiding the things that you don't like but are always fucking blocking you. As you can see, my friends, I speak with passion because this is an experience so fucking true to me, and I feel like it's a shared one amongst a lot of people, you know? These videos I make, it's not me speaking down ever. It's never really something I've already like learned and integrated into my whole being. It's always something I'm seeing. It's the lesson I'm currently learning that's inspiring me, that just needs to come out of me. And guess what? Those lessons, these videos often flow out of me when I stop trying to create anything. And just get so real with myself and see actually where I am, and see my struggle, and see my own pain, and see my own goddamn suffering and frustration, inability, like, you know? The intense craziness of your situation, my friends. It's kind of funny. Point we can laugh at your bullshit. Most people don't really got a war like me, though. They don't really like have bullshit and pain and blockages and all these things that are just my reality. War is my reality inside. That might not seem very beautiful, but guess what? That is a necessary requirement to access into like the heavenly or higher realms. This man must be at war with himself, fighting tooth and nail with all of his mind and all of his spirit. Like, find that place within you, my friends. The way to, like, it's honestly just awareness of actually what's going on inside of you, and also a vision of what you are. You know, the vision of the one inside, the initiation into a truer vision of yourself. A truer vision of what's possible. Tapping into the pull of destiny, you know? And then working with the obstacles, because the obstacles are the path to the destiny. Now, a lot of people watching this are being pulled to a destiny or a feeling, you know, the whispers of the heart. They find it in the silence, you know? I'm sure you know this faint calling, the subtle truth, this deep knowing of the one inside of you. And then realize that obstacles are the path, and don't run from it. Don't run from where you are. It's ever a practice that is here to build your king, my friends. The one that can take on anything, is a force of centeredness in the world. The one who unifies opposite forces, right? The alchemist, who integrates and transmutes all energies into that divine flow and force in alignment with the universe. The king inside of you, that's like the rock in the storm, that's so willing to show up, that knows nothing else than presentness with what's going on, and usually obstacles, because obstacles are the path. Anyways, my friends, thanks so much for watching. This is Raw and Real with Dmitrius. Real Talk Wisdom 3. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, link in the description. You can apply for a free session. Also, hit that like button. Let me know if you liked this video. Share this video if you did. You know, drop a comment with your experience, with your relation, whatever it is. All that shit really helps. Thanks for giving back. Thanks for being here. And if you tip your waiter, you might as well tip your YouTuber. Peace out, fam. Love y'all.